Assalamu alaikum and very good afternoon. Welcome to our new newspaper channel where you can watch and read all the compiled newspapers reports of worldwide to save your time. Before rundown, it's our request those who have not subscribed our channel may please be subscribed and click the bell icon button as we may easily spread ahead our voice. Thanks. Students wearing gowns stand as students continue to maintain a protest encampment on the main campus of Columbia University in support of Palestinians. During the ongoing conflict between Israel and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas in New York City, U.S. April 27, U.S. campus protests intensify amid new push for Gaza truce. Hundreds of university students arrested in U.S. as Gaza war protests spread. Police out in full force. Some using chemical irritants and tasers to disperse the students as more universities join the movement. Hamas releases video of two Israeli captives held in Gaza. The two men, identified as Keith Siegel and Omri Miran, send love to their families and asked to be released in the video. Pakistan Cricket Board appoints Gillespie and Kirsten as men's head coaches. Kirsten to take charge in limited overs formats and Gillespie in tests after months of turmoil in Pakistan cricket. The inexplicable rise of kidney disease in Sri Lanka's farming communities. Residents of several hotspots have been afflicted by kidney failure in the past few decades, and no one knows why. Jobless engineers, MBAs. The hidden army of Indian election consultants. These politically neutral problem solvers do short stints in political campaigns and are valued for their data skills. How a ragtag army defended Bosnia and Herzegovina against two aggressors. ARBIH, formed in April 1992, managed against all odds to successfully defend the country's sovereignty. Beirut and the Bekaa Valley, Lebanon, on April 9. The night before Eid al-Fitr celebrations got underway in Lebanon, Syrian refugee Hussein came home to find his front door smashed in. Blocks from the White House. U.S. students stand steadfast with Gaza-Palestine solidarity. Encampment springs up at George Washington University despite crackdown and arrests across U.S. Farm suicides. Anger haunt Indian villages that Modi promised hope. Villages where Modi launched his farm outreach a decade ago have seen deaths and debt mounts since then. And the goodwill for the Indian PM is evaporating, turning into staunch criticism. Mandela's World, a photographic retrospective of apartheid South Africa 30 years after the end of apartheid. We revisit iconic images by Jürgen Scheidberg and the stories behind the lens. From LA to NY, pro-Palestine college campus protests grow strong in U.S. Students keep protesting at universities across the U.S. as law enforcement steps in to remove protesters from campuses. Does RFK Jr. pose more of a threat to Trump or Biden? In a tight election, the independent candidate could get enough votes to influence who wins the White House. Weinstein in hospital after conviction overturned. A lawyer said the disgraced movie mogul was somewhat of a train wreck health-wise. 6 hours ago, U.S. and Canada protesters in Australia. Australians protest against spate of killings of women. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said the issue was a national crisis. Have Iran-Israel missile strikes changed the Middle East? Political and military leaders are still absorbing the extraordinary exchange of fire, writes James Landale. Airline keeps mistaking 101-year-old woman for baby. An IT glitch leaves the cabin crew expecting to welcome a baby on board rather than a centenarian. Biden roasts Trump at Correspondents' Dinner. The U.S. president made fun of his and Donald Trump's age at the annual White House Correspondents' Association dinner. Weinstein in hospital after conviction overturned. A lawyer said the disgraced movie mogul was somewhat of a train wreck health-wise. Germany grapples with wave of spying threats. 6 arrests in quick succession show Germany is being targeted by spies but also that it is fighting back. Elon Musk in China to discuss enabling full self-driving. Reports Elon Musk is visiting Beijing to discuss enabling autonomous driving mode on Tesla cars in China, according to media reports. Dead whistleblower accused Boeing of safety breaches. Hungary opens up to Chinese tech despite protests. Anglo-American rejects £31 billion mega deal with rival TikTok will not be sold. Chinese parent tells U.S. the ex-flight attendant who now leads the airline Martin Freeman on why viewers can smell lies. In TV drama, the responder star on how the police drama shows them as human beings rather than cardboard cutouts. Elon Musk visits China as Tesla seeks self-driving technology rollout. Elon Musk's private jet taxiing on the runway at the airport in Beijing, April 28, 2024. Reuters TV. Tesla debuted the most autonomous version of its autopilot software 4 years ago, but has yet to make it available in China, its second-largest market. Local rivals have been seeking an advantage by rolling out similar software. As tourists move in, Italians are squeezed out on holiday island of Capri. Ukrainian grandpa leads over 60s unit fighting Russian forces for free. Biden jabs Trump in election year roast at correspondents' dinner. Exclusive. Some U.S. officials say an internal memo Israel may be violating international law in Gaza as solar capacity grows. Some of America's most productive farmland is at risk. Even with Gaza under siege, some are imagining its reconstruction. International development agencies have been meeting with Middle East business interests and urban planners to map out a future for the territory. The United States and France have sent their top diplomats to the Middle East for new talks about the war in Gaza. David, French colleges have gone off the deep end. There is a way out. Stephen Marquet. Justin Trudeau is no match for a polarized world. Ezra Klein. A close examination of the most infamous public toilet in America. Jessica Bennett. Harvey Weinstein and the limits of, she said. Ross doubt that what Columbia students read before they protest. Jen Silverman. Art isn't supposed to make you comfortable. Crackdowns at 4 college protests lead to more than 200 arrests. The police made arrests at Washington University in St. Louis, Northeastern, Arizona State and Indiana, as schools move to quell pro-Palestinian encampments. Here's where pro-Palestinian protests have embroiled U.S. campuses. Trump's trial could bring a rarity. Consequences for his words. Donald Trump has spent decades spewing thousands of words and contradicting himself. That tendency is working against him in his Manhattan criminal case. Rafael Rashid. A small group in South Korea has a big homophobic agenda. Daniela J. Lama's skepticism is healthy, but in medicine, it can be dangerous. Nicholas Kristof. Why does the U.S. arm Ukraine with fanfare and Israel in secret? Jamel Bouie. Justice Alito is holding Trump to a different standard. Many Ukrainian prisoners of war show signs of trauma and sexual violence. Some are still suffering with physical and psychological wounds from torture by their Russian captors. But soldiers are being sent back to active duty. Ancient female ballplayer makes public debut. The game played by inhabitants of the Huasteca was a means of communing with the gods, one that sometimes culminated in human sacrifice. Running against a 6-year-old. Biden lets Trump jokes fly at annual roast. President Biden roasted former President Trump at the White House Correspondents' Association dinner. Outside, pro-Palestinian protesters rally. How a new trial for Harvey Weinstein could again test the legal system. A new jury would hear from one or both of the women whom he was convicted of assaulting, in what analysts say will be a much narrower and weaker case. Asylum seekers already in UK say Rwanda law creates new anxiety for the tens of thousands of asylum seekers in Britain. A new law brings the possibility of deportation to Central Africa closer. How fentanyl laid waste to Guatemala's time-worn opium trade, reshaping the drug war in one of Central America's most lawless corners. The fentanyl boom has devastated the trade in poppies used to make heroin.